Hello everyone and welcome back. So we've covered a lot of things this week. We've gone through the workshop breakdown, we've talked about what we're going to do, we talked about the wedging, we showed how to build a simple setup in Houdini, how to get everything going. This may feel easy and accessible to everyone, and we wanted it to be that way. If you have prior experience to Houdini, please get used to using the new workflow and make sure you know where everything is. Also, the wedge that we're going to be providing for all the settings that we've done, all the wedges, please take a look at all of them and see how changing those values affect the result. What I want you guys to get used to is to build a visual memory of what tweak or what settings you changed and how will that affect the result. I don't want these guides to be side by side all the time. You need to watch them and try to build like a library, a visual library, so that when you change values, you don't have to always go back to this or wait. You can just go straight in and you know how this will work and how this will affect the sim. You just start with a really good values, and that will save you a lot of time experimenting. The other thing is, everything here is new. So even if you have prior experience, I want you to go through this workflow and do some sims, save them to disk, iterate, increase the resolution, set up the wedge scene. If you want, you can use the wedge setup, do all these things like the ring or whatever source you're going to use, and plug them in the wedging system, and then try wedging some settings. For example, I want to wedge the velocity amplitude. I want to wedge the temperature strength. I want to wedge the resolution. I want to wedge whatever I want. You can do those things and get comfortable with the workflow. The wedging system we're not going to be using every week, at least on our side, on the instructor side, because we wanted to get things done very, very quickly. So we just focus on creating the effects, but this platform should be used for testing or for doing any R&D that you want to present or compare. So everything we're going to be doing, we recommend using the wedge setup and plugging everything in there so you have it, at least if you want to compare. The other thing, if you haven't done sims before, if you don't know your hardware limitation, if you don't know what doing a high-res sim is, please start doing that. I want you to create sims and start hammering the hardware that you have as much as you can. Okay, create a sim and let it run for 2 hours, and then look at the preview, do a viewport capture, save it to disk, run another one, let it run overnight, and then come back the next day and see how well the machine did. Try to reach the limit of what you're capable of, so that you know later what kind of settings you can go for. You know what the resolution, the maximum resolution, how you can get, how many voxels you can fit in the GPU, and whether you can use all of this or not, and just tweak based on that. You don't have to do high-res sims if the hardware you have cannot do that. Just get comfortable with the environment, because we need to be working and creating sims, even if they're not as high as they can be. And I think that's pretty much it for this week. I want you guys to digest all of this as much as possible, work on creating simple sim, and the result does not matter. I don't care too much about how it looks or how awesome the sim is or how high res the sim is. The goal is for you guys to get comfortable with the working environment you have and with the Houdini and the tool sets available. One last thing I wanted to add is we cached the flame field, and I just wanted to show how different it looks compared to the temperature field. So I'm going to set the density to 0, and this is the temperature field. And I'm going to go in this node and change everything that says temperature to flame. Okay, so I'm going to set this to 0, and now I have the flame data. And you can see it's much more narrow, it's much more connected to the source, and it does not behave like the temperature field in any way. Okay, so that's something we have to be aware of. We can use this later for doing some advanced shading techniques if we want to use it in any way we want. We can use it to process things in SOPs if we want to use it to emit particles, or for whatever reason that data is available and it's not the same as the temperature field. So that's what I wanted to show here. And I think that's it for this week. Best of luck with everything, and please let me know if you have any questions, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.